Some people think support is something that you can just start. Customer support mastery. Remember the last time we spoke about job application strategy, and then for day one, we treated tech sales. I can see that a lot of people are like trying so hard to run away from tech sales because it's stressful. They feel like support is easier. And there's some people I have met also who do not share that idea that support is easier. Some people think support is something that you can just start with, low level job, kind of. But after today, we're going to be seeing what support is all about, how to navigate the support career, how to start out as a support professional as well, and what you need to know, the basic things, the terms that are needed for you to ace any support interview, and also how you can tailor any role at all that you've had to being a support role. Because I am sure a lot of people think you need to have specifically worked as a customer support agent or a customer service representative before you can get any job as a support professional. So at the end of this meeting, the goal is to make sure that all of these things that I've mentioned are being clarified for you and you understand the role even better than you think you had known it. I'm going to start with why customer support is one of the highest level remote jobs right now when it comes to the job market as a virtual assistant. Like I mentioned earlier, there is a misconception that customer support is a low level job. Maybe because a lot of people have had really bad experience working on site as customer service or customer support. So they think it's, a general idea for all customer support roles to be low level, but that is not how it is. You can see here that I've stated, and I tried to also explain, it is the most consistently hiring remote category in the world, aside tech sales. Second point is it is the most accessible. So as an entry level, as long as you have the right skills, as long as you can position yourself very well, it is very easy for you to get into. And then it pays far more than people assume. If you can actually get the right client as a Nigerian customer support agent or support professional, you can earn as much as 1,000, 1,500. That is how high the salaries are. And it also helps you build skills that you can transfer anywhere. Now, if you have a support skill, you can work as a project manager. You can work even as a social media manager. Yes, you can work as a call agent, whatever, maybe sales, appointment setter. If you have any experience at all as a support professional, it is easier for you to transfer those skills to other career parts as well. And then we have it is the heart of customer loyalty. And that is why a lot of companies invest in it because right now it seems like anyone who is hiring is looking for someone that can handle their customer. Even as a social media manager, they want someone who will be able to attend to, customer inquiries on their social media platform. So imagine having communication skill or you can relate to customers properly. It's actually what people are looking for. And then we'll be looking at the anatomy of a perfect support interaction. Every single support interaction, whether email, chat, or phone, it follows four stages. And I'm going to be explaining those four stages right now. The first one is set the tune in the first sentence. And by that, what do I mean? Your opening should help the customer to understand who they are speaking with because the customer, especially for first time customers, they've never used your company. It is your duty to present yourself as a warm person, as a human. Why do you think customer support roles are still there? I hear a lot of people say AI is taking jobs, but trust me, people still need human interactions. They want to know that they are speaking with a human being. Why do you think sometimes even when they have all those AI chat systems on their website, there's some inquiries that you want to make, and the AI will tell you, "I can't handle this. I have to pass you over to someone," because at some stage a human will be needed. Now, I went ahead to give some weak and strong opens, how you can start a conversation, how you can start a call. You have to be very warm with the customer, whether it's an escalation, whether it's an inquiry, whatever it is the customer is reaching out to you for, you have to Always give that warm impression. The second stage is understand before you solve. A customer cannot just call, and because probably you've gotten the first chat, maybe the AI bot was able to transfer the escalate what exactly the customer was trying to resolve, and you feel, oh, I already know what the customer needs, and then you're starting with, I understand that. No, that is not how you start a call. That is not how you attend to a customer. Allow them to vent out their anger. Allow them to say what they want. If a customer is being transferred to you, even if you already know what they want, even if you know their problem, allow them to speak. It makes them feel heard. It makes them feel understood. Customers like it when you act like you heard them. That is why active listening is always a skill that you should never exclude from your resume. Active listening, very, very important. And also attention to details. Those two skills should never miss from your resume. If they've been missing before, maybe you should go back and check for it again. It's very, very important. And I have also gone ahead to leave out some instances here. So I understand correctly, you were charged twice for the same order, just to make sure I fix the right thing. That way, the customer knows this person heard me, right? And then the third stage is on the path to fixing it. Whether you're the one responsible for the wrong order, whether you're out of office when the issue happened, when whatever the customer is going through must have happened, you have to own to fixing it. It doesn't have to be your problem before you're able to help the customer solve it. What it does is that it helps you take responsibility, and companies like workers who are responsible. And then the fourth stage is end with confidence and warmth. On no account should the customer even notice it that you're not familiar with the problem you're solving. They shouldn't even notice the nervousness in your voice on no account, because you're just going to end up creating the bad name for both yourself and for the company. They should always be reassured by your voice that you know what you are doing. That's the best way to sound as a support professional. Customers should always feel better after an interaction with you. We're going to be looking at the channels of support. A lot of people do not know that there are different channels of support when it comes to customer support or customer service or working as a customer service representative. We have different channels. We have the email, we have the live chat, we have the phone, and we have the ticketing. Now, when it comes to general support, working as a general support professional, you're exposed to all of these channels. You're exposed to emails, you're exposed to live chat. Live chat is like the one that happens on the websites. I don't know how many of us have come across those chats that you see on people's websites when they send messages or make inquiries from the websites. We get to handle it in real time. So that's live chats. And then we have phones, we have ticketing. Ticketing is like when the customer makes inquiry or they have any issue, escalation, all of those are ticketing. And but sometimes you can decide to major in any of this channel. Maybe you're an email support professional. You have to learn all there is to emailing. Or you're a live chat professional. You have to learn all there is to live chats. Or you're a phone support professional. You have to learn phone etiquette. This is what we call phone etiquette. You need to know all of those terms. You need to know all of the skills that are required for all of those channels as well. You need to know the tools. Very important. You need to know the tools, you need to know the skills that are required for all of these channels. And then that leads us to the tools. We have different tools, just as we have tools or CRMs in sales, we also have for virtual assistants, we have for general VA, we have for project management. That's the same way we have tools for support, one of which is Zendex. If you're looking to start a career as a support professional, one skill or one tool you should make sure you try to learn is Zendex. Zendex, because companies are now focused or leaning towards e-commerce, and Zendex is one tool that is in demand. In fact, the skill is one that if on your resume it is listed there that you have used Zendex, you're going to be given higher attention than anybody who mentions any other tool which is not associated with any of the CRM tools, maybe Salesforce, Zendex, and any other one, maybe Freshdex as well. Zendex is a tool that you need to learn. And from the video that I posted about creating your portfolio, I also did include some prompts that you can use to gain real experience on how to use some of these tools. So all you just need to do is paste them on ChatGPT or any AI platform that you're using and it's going to give you real life scenarios that you can use to learn how to use these tools. It's going to give you names of clients, it's going to give you daily tasks as well. And one good thing about all of these tools is that they some of them offer you free trials, so you can use the free trial. You don't have to pay, you don't have to say, "Oh, I'm not working with the company yet, so how will I be able to gain the experience with these tools?" No, they offer you free trials, and that is what I did, right? I used the free trials to learn all of these tools before I was even able to have like the real experience with them. So we have fresh decks, we have intercom. For intercom offers you more like, it's more like an academy, so you can even learn all about intercom and gain certification. And this one is something that I personally did. And also, HubSpot, you can also check out their website and learn how to use these tools. We have Help Squads. We have Gorgeous. Gorgeous is another tool. We also have Salesforce. You can also check out Salesforce, Trailhead on Salesforce. It teaches you how to use Salesforce. Hands-on experience. You even have, I think when I was learning how to use Salesforce, we had what we call the playground. You get to practice using these tools like you're actually working with a real client. That is one way to gain an experience. So you don't have the excuse of, I have not worked with a client before, so I don't have the experience. Nobody wants to listen to that. So these are ways, very smart and strategic ways that you can use to gain experience for yourself. We also have live chats and communication tools, like I've mentioned. Zoom. Sometimes people don't know that there is more to Zoom that we actually know. So you should learn more about these tools. We have TDU, we have Slack. For those of them that do not have maybe trainings or free trials, you can check out the videos on YouTube. And then we have the HEART framework for handling difficult clients. What does HEART even mean? We have the hear them out, empathize with them, apologize, resolve, and thank them. So if you know how to apply the heart framework as a human being, now I'm not even talking about you working as a support professional. If you're able to apply this as a human being, you're already a support professional. And from the beginning of this meeting, I mentioned that at the end of this class, you will be able to understand how you can convert any experience, whether it's as a support professional or as a salesperson or even working in the restaurant, whatever it is you've done, you will be able to create a resume that gives you the title customer support or customer service representative or even client support. All of these things are terms that are being used. And one of that is understanding how you've been able to implement the HEART framework in your current role, how you've been able to hear them out, the people you've worked with, your customers. You've empathized with them, you've apologized, you've resolved their complaints, and you've been able to thank them. So when you go through all of these documents, this document right now that I'll be sharing with us, afterwards, you also get to see that I have gone ahead to elaborate them, giving examples and scenarios where these frameworks can be applied, or how you must have applied any of them, even without knowing that you have, in one way or the other, been a support professional. And then we have macros and escalation protocols. Now, these are terms that, if you happen to finally decided to start your career as a support professional, these are terms that you need to know, because during an interview, it is expected that you use some of these terms. It makes you sound professional and it makes you sound like you actually know what you're doing. And one of this is macro. What is a macro? A macro is, or you can call it a canned response, is a saved reply. It's more like a template that you use to answer common questions. The customers have been calling with this particular issue, and I have been able to resolve one or two of those issues using this particular reply. That becomes a macro because now you use it as a template to attend to similar conversations. We have the escalation protocols. This is very important when it comes to working as a support professional, because it is not every time that you get to support the customer directly. Sometimes you have to escalate it to the higher authority. There's some things like maybe the customer can no longer access their website or something, and you do not have access to that particular portal. You have to like find a way to escalate it. It is also very important that you know when to escalate and when to be able to resolve. So it is very important that you know escalation protocols, how it implies to you, helping the customers, and also companies go ahead to provide you with detailed responses that you can use I don't think there's anyone here who would want to work with any company and they won't tell you these are the ways that we usually answer our customers' questions. These are what you need to know about the product in order to help you, or these are what you need to know about the services in order to help you help our customers and give them a better experience. So it is very important that you know when to escalate and how to escalate as well. All of these are tips that you can use during an interview. Once you read through the document, you'll be able to know the terms to use, the terms not to use, and how to elaborate some of the things that you did not understand so much prior to this meeting. And then we have KPIs. I know some of us, we usually think KPI is only associated with sales, but no, KPI is key performance indicator. For those of us that do not know, KPIs are a way the company measures your performance. And for support, we have specific metrics that we use when performances are being measured. One of it is the CSAT, the customer satisfaction score. How satisfied is the customer with you? What was the customer's experience? And usually, as a support professional, this is something you're expected to ask your customers. Sometimes you get to ask them to, leave a review, which is something we get to see almost every time whenever we use the service. You always see that they tell you to leave a review. The net promoter score measures your customer loyalty by asking how likely are you to recommend us to a friend. This is also something that you will be measured with as a support professional. First response time. The first time the customer reached out to you, how fast did you respond to them is also something that is being measured. Resolution time, just like I mentioned, how fast, how long does it take you? How long does it take you to be able to resolve a customer's complaint? Does it take you a full day? Does it take 24 hours? Does it take you 48 hours? How long does it take? Does it even take you a week or a month? And in your current role, you can also decide to look out for this particular, performances. Like, how will I be able to score myself using these metrics that we've talked about today? If you're able to score yourself using these metrics, trust me, your resume is going to be looking even better for you to apply as a support professional, right? And then we have ticket volumes handled. How many tickets or conversations have you managed in a given period? Are you able to attend to like 10 customers within 5 minutes, or realistically, five customers within 30 minutes or an hour? That is also something that is being measured. So you also have to know that while you're learning to use these tools, these CRM tools, these are the things that you should also be looking out for. First contact resolution. The first time a customer reached out to you, they've never interacted with your company before. What is the percentage of the issues that you were able to resolve, and at what given time? Does the customer need follow up after you were able to resolve their complaint, or did they just get it sorted out immediately as they reached out? This is something the company also measures your performance with. And then we'll look at how to apply for support roles and position. Like I mentioned, and I think I've been mentioning as well, knowing the skill is only half of the equation. You also need to be able to position yourself, right? And no matter the role that you're currently at, there is a way that you must have supported someone at a particular time. Maybe you didn't just know how you could present it as a skill that you've had. Calling yourself a support professional sometimes only means that you've had the experience. It doesn't mean you have any, you need to have any kind of degree. These are the ways that you can position yourself without experience. Lead with the qualities support actually requires. These are the qualities that support requires. If you look at the role that you currently work at right now and you find that you have any of this, it simply means you're a support professional. Turn any past experience into a support language. If I've worked as a waitress, for example, how will I be able to turn my experience into a support language? I give an example here. You can see resolved customer issues, handled complaints calmly, and ensured customer satisfaction. We have already said what you did as a support professional. And the only thing that actually makes you stand out is how you're able to provide the title, because you won't be applying for a customer service role and you're as your title you're adding waitress, and then make your communication itself the proof. In support, your application is your audition. A clear, warm, well written application proves you can do the job better than any claim. So you should always know how to present your skills confidently. Very important, because it's only with confidence that you're able to tell someone that you sold fish in a very unique way. Show your tools. This is non-negotiable. This particular one is non-negotiable, and I can't stop talking about it. You can't tell me you've worked as this person without showing me what you used while working with that person. And in this case, when it comes to support, I already told you guys, Zendesk is one tool that they look out for. So whether you've done sales, whether you've done waitress, whether you did forestry, poultry, whatever it is you did, if you can learn how to use any of the CRM tools, it gives you an edge, even more than somebody that must have done a course on customer support or must have even had a prior experience as an on-site customer support agent, but then doesn't have any of these tools. This is something that I know that companies are looking out for. Very, very important. Your ability to use these tools. In fact, it makes it easier for them to trust you because they know that this person has handled this kind of tool before. They will be able to trust you enough to even want to train you to utilize any tool that the company will be using. Where to find support roles. So just like we covered in day two, I already explained to us where you can find remote roles. But the thing is, you have to be very specific when you're searching for those roles. For example, on LinkedIn, you can't be searching for just virtual assistant when you want to work customer support. And also on Facebook, you can't be searching for just general virtual assistant groups when you're planning to work specifically for companies who are looking for customer support. So you should also know that you need these exact terms like remote customer support representative, customer service representative, any of these roles that I have listed out here, you can go ahead to use them as maybe your keywords when you're searching. Build your support portfolio. I also did provide us with a video. That video is very basic. It's very, very basic. In fact, it shows you how to start or how to prepare a portfolio as a total beginner. I tried as much as possible to make it very simple and easy to follow. All you just need to do is follow the same step that I used there. Use the templates that have already been provided for you on Canva. Get the screenshots that are required, which are your experience. That is your portfolio. All of those screenshots of the jobs that you've done, the tools that you've used, all of that is what is needed to build a portfolio. And with that, your sample support responses, a heart framework demonstration, your CRM tool, it could be Zendesk, it could be Salesforce, whichever you decide to use, and then a free certification if you have any. For me, I usually add my HubSpot or Intercom or Salesforce whenever I want to maybe add a free certification that I have done based on the role.
If this video was really helpful to you and you're not yet a subscriber, please go ahead to subscribe, like, and you can also share, but make sure to hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop a new video.